Hello and welcome. This presentation introduces you to USAID SERA, how it got involved in doing business reforms in Zimbabwe, and its strategic objectives and mandate. The SERA program provided evidence-based research support and training to multiple stakeholders and has to date registered significant milestones. Key among those milestones are thematic research on the business enabling environment. Ease of doing business reforms were justified by the desire to improve the business enabling environment, particularly having observed the following negative economic and business environmental parameters. Slump in economic performance. GDP growth profile has been weak, slowing from peaks of 11.9 in 2010 to 1.5% in 2015. Zimbabwe currently ranks 125 out of 140 ranked economies in competitiveness. Low business confidence and international investor sentiment. Deindustrialization. World Bank Ease of Doing Business rankings for 2015 stood at 171 out of 189 countries. In October 2014, the Zimbabwe Investment Authority received technical support from USAID SERA to commission a study titled Starting a Business, Zimbabwe on the Brink of a Breakthrough. A high-level stakeholder workshop in January 2015 agreed on a roadmap to kick off reforms to improve the World Bank Doing Business rankings for the country, as outlined by Sichoni Takholeza of the ZIA, who was actively involved in research.
Our involvement with the SERA program started in 2014. We realized that there was a slow pace in executing doing business reforms. So we noted that there was need for a massive program. Working with SERA, what we did was to identify the starting a business indicator. And this is where we started work. Within the starting a business indicator, we identified the city of Harare as well as the registrar of companies as focal points. So through the assistance of the SERA program, we initiated a consultant who carried out a study on the state of starting a business in Zimbabwe.
From April 2015, the government subsequently rolled out an all-inclusive doing business reform agenda, which has remained under implementation to date with the active involvement of the private sector, labor, civil society and development cooperating partners, DCPs. Beyond that, the government, through the Office of the President and Cabinet, OPC, supported by other DCPs such as the World Bank, has coordinated reforms through 100-day action plans. We are currently under the second phase of the 100-day action plan, and focus has been on reducing as well as simplifying procedures, addressing administrative bottlenecks, and eliminating legislative bottlenecks. SERA has worked closely, flexibly, and proactively with other stakeholders to support key reforms on business municipal licensing, company registration, Town and Country Planning Act, Companies Act, and shop licensing. The Harare City Council municipal business licensing reforms are underway. The acting town clerk of Harare City Council, Ms. Josephine Ncube.
We have worked with USAID SERA since the last quarter of 2015 in the business licensing mapping exercise, which was really intended to enable us to review and improve on the business licensing process as part of the wider ease of doing business project, which is being managed through the Office of the President and Cabinet. The business licensing process was one of the major reasons for the low rating for the ease of doing business in Zimbabwe. And we were very happy as the city to work on this project, and our council was extremely supportive. What made it also a very good exercise for us was that it enabled us to have a level of working with our stakeholders, which we didn't have before. The major achievements that we got out of this exercise, firstly, we were able to reduce the business licensing process significantly, from about 54 days to 3 days, and sometimes even to 1 day, depending on the kind of license that a person is applying for. And we achieved this through a number of changes that were made to the process. Firstly, our application forms are now online. Previously, a person had to go to our offices at the Department of Health Services, pay a fee of $20, get the form, take it home, and bring it back after completing the form. But now people can just download the form, fill it in, and submit it online. And then they can just go to the offices to follow up, literally to collect their license if they've met all the requirements. The other change that we made was that there was a requirement that before a license could be issued, a person had to wait for 35 days, during which period they would publish an advertisement in the newspaper to say that I intend to apply for a shop license, and then wait for 35 days before the license could be issued. But now we've done away with that requirement. People can just submit, and then we can issue the license.
The Companies Act was so archaic and old-fashioned and out of sync with the modern business demands. And the USAID SERA started the work by looking into the Companies Act, what could be improved, and how it can accommodate automation. We needed to look at best practice. We needed to look at who was doing it right and how were they succeeding. And on 14 November, from 14 to 21, USAID SERA sponsored a delegation from Zimbabwe, which went to New Zealand to look at the systems, study the laws, and come back with recommendations. And when they came back with a way forward and a work plan, which is being implemented currently. And I'm happy to say, because of that exercise, we already processing name search applications online. It's already happening. We are showcasing it. We have reviewed the processes, not just at register of companies, but throughout. We've managed to reduce the time it takes to get a license at local authorities from 55 days. Now we can get it in 4 or 5 days. We've managed also to reduce the time it takes to register with the ZIMRA from the 14 days right down to 2 days. And with NASA, we've managed also to reduce it from 14 days to 14 minutes, thanks to the efforts and the investment and, of course, the critical intervention by USAID SERA.
The following tangible effects are now evident in the business environment: simplified procedures for individuals and businesses, increased transparency of business and related government regulations and procedures, reduced transactional corruption. As a result of this program, we have learned that evidence-based research is a key instrument towards a better understanding of contexts. Broad-based stakeholder ownership of the process from problem diagnosing to solution is central to success. A hands-on approach is key to capacity building and sustaining reform work. Lastly, proactivity and flexibility will broaden programming bandwidth beyond our current tenure.